Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright, we'll be here on the date, Mr. Roll Up. Y'all see that, right? 95-year-old woman charged with murder. Alright, how about that?
Right now, it's an unthinkable crime in Coney Island. A 95-year-old woman now being charged with murder for the fatal beating of her elderly roommate. So disturbing. Fox 5 Sharon Coley is live in Coney Island with more on the investigation. Sharon? Yeah, we're getting some new information from the criminal complaint about exactly how this crime took place. We are live right now in Coney Island. We're outside the Seagate Rehabilitation and Nursing Center in Coney Island. And as you said, police have charged a 95-year-old woman with murdering her 89-year-old roommate. Both of them were in this facility when it happened. Now, this happened Sunday on a third floor room of this residential facility. Now, according to the criminal complaint that was filed by the Brooklyn DA, a nurse telling police that she checked on the 89-year-old victim, Nina Kravtsov, and she said that she was asleep. And then an hour later, the nurse returned to the room only to find her covered in blood, and her roommate, the defendant, 95-year-old Galina Smirnova, washing blood off of her clothing in the bathroom. Now, the criminal complaint reads in part that the victim, Nina Kravtsov, was lying in her bed, non-responsive, covered in blood with a gash mark about her face. And further, the witness saying that the defendant was in the bathroom that is inside the patient room and observed that the defendant's hospital gown was bloody and the defendant had blood on her legs, and the defendant was also washing her hands in the bathroom sink. I spoke with families who have relatives in this care facility a short time ago. You can imagine they were shocked.
I was terrified. I didn't know what to think, actually. And it's like the first thing I did was call to make sure my mom was okay and that nobody else got hurt. And then I came to visit her today.
I heard about accident. That's it. That somebody killed somebody.
What did you think?
It's terrible. Terrible.
When I came to see my wife at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30, she explained to me, like what happened. I said to she, yeah, I see everything in the news.
And court documents showing that investigators may be looking at the pedals of the wheelchair as a possible murder weapon. They were covered in blood, according to the criminal complaint, and one of those pedals was seen. It was thrown out the third floor window and later found and confiscated by police. So the defendant in this case has been moved to Bellevue and will be back in court later this month. For now, I'm Sharon Crowley in Coney Island. I will send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah.
Damn, man. What type of time, man? Alright, so what you got to say about this, Mr. Roll Up? Well, I don't got much to say, but I got a little bit for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Alright, now, first and foremost, they said pretty much that the 95-year-old woman used the wheelchair to basically beat the 89-year-old woman to death with type shit. You know what I'm saying? I guess she beat her. She tried to throw the shit off the damn balcony. You know what I'm saying? How about that? The 95-year-old, evidently, she's a gangster. You know what I'm saying? This ain't her first rodeo. She ain't new to this shit, right? And she just proved it. Ultimately, I don't think it was a loss for either one. What you mean by that, Mr. Roll Up? Shit. They was already there, about to take flight. Both of them was about to get up out of here anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to say, shortening your life is cool, but shit, they was already up there in age. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that was pretty much a loss for them. Like, what you mean by that, Mr. Roller? With the 95-year-old, right? She being charged with murder. So she in jail, right? She gonna have to go to court, go through all the procedures, blah, 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 right? By the time she get to prison, shit, she might pass away there. You know what I'm saying? She might pass away in court. She might pass away while she in the county jail. Like, again, I'm not trying to shorten her life or nothing, but just saying, like, she 95. You know what I'm saying? She done lived her life. I'm 36, so that means she was like 59 years old when I was born. You know what I'm saying? She 59, 60 years old when I was just being born. So she didn't live her life two, three, four times. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, it ain't no loss. You know, evidently she know how to defend herself. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what the fuck she did. She defended herself, and this shit happened to work out for her. But now she is in jail, and she gonna be looking at the rest of her life in prison. But guess what? Like I said, she done lived her life. You know what I'm saying? She 95. Like, what's the loss? You know. Um. Here's one more thing I got to say about that. With them nursing homes, them caregivers and shit like that, they don't really be taking care of them old people anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the time being left that she got on this earth, she gonna have it better in jail than at the nursing home. Damn, that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Um, she gonna be able to go outside and do whatever she want to do. Walk around, things like that. When they keep them in them nursing homes, man, they don't be trying to take them outside or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's work on them that they don't want to do. You know, they don't feed them right, all type of shit. They talk crazy to them. Some of them be beating on them damn clients. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm not saying that jail is the best option, but it might be better for her, for the time remaining she got left. Um, it's probably bringing her some type of excitement. I know that shit sound crazy, but again, she is 95 years old. I'm pretty sure she been used to, laying in that bed all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Not going nowhere, not doing nothing. Well, in prison, in jail, it ain't gonna be there. It's gonna be constant movement all the time. So she gonna have to get up and move. You know what I'm saying? And that'd probably be something good for her. Like I said, bring some type of excitement to her instead of just keeping her consoled in a room, with a TV and a damn TV dinner. You know what I'm saying? At least with this being said, her food not gonna get brought to her. She gonna have to go get it. You know what I'm saying? She gonna have to go to the child hall. Like I said, bring a little exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't necessarily look at this as like a bad thing. That's how I'm just putting it. Even though the situation was tragic, you know what I'm saying, and it probably shouldn't have happened, but it did. And look what it happened to. You know what I'm saying? Two older women. Like, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Um, this also just go to show and prove that it don't matter how old you is or how young you is, your ass will go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just seen I done covered the story on the 12-year-old, the 14-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, they bring them in, they young, and now they bring them in all the way up to 95 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no cap on this shit. Like, anybody can go to jail. They not gonna feel sorry for you because you an older veteran in a nursing home. Hell no. Your ass gonna sit in that cell too. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. You on all type of medications, you handicapped, you know what I'm saying? You can barely breathe. They don't give a fuck. Your ass gonna sit in that cell. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just showing proof that the system ain't biased on shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get locked up. Because it's like, at this point, what's the point of locking her up? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of even charging her? Like, man, fuck it. You might as well just swept that shit under the rug. Because, again, man, I'm 95 years old. And shit, she could live for another 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 20 years. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, she at that peak age, where it's like, it's any day now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the system don't give a fuck. They gonna get their coin. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get their guilty plea and they gonna get their conviction. You know what I'm saying? That's all the system give a fuck about. It's crazy how shit go. But this is real life, man. So to everybody, don't think because you get older, they're gonna show you some leniency on whatever crime you commit, anything like that. Like, nah, hell no. Your ass gonna get booked. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I covered this one, because you can see a 95-year-old is being booked on a murder. You know what I'm saying? How about that? Spend another episode to roll up a poet. So get your blunts rolled and your Drake poured.